Why would one of the most powerful men in hip-hop turn to his old rival for help? Diddy, freshly sentenced to 50 months, reportedly reached out to Trump for a presidential pardon. Their complicated past, from friends to foes, could decide Diddy's fate. It all started with a verdict that sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. Just hours after receiving a 50-month sentence, Sean Diddy Combs, a man once seen as untouchable, found himself behind bars, stripped of power, and surrounded by silence. For decades, he'd built an empire on control, over music, fashion, business, and image. But now, all that control was gone. Reports say his legal team didn't waste a second. Before the ink on his sentencing papers was even dry, they were already reaching out, not to appeal judges or prosecutors, but to the one man who could rewrite his fate with a single signature: Donald Trump. Fans couldn't believe it. Diddy, one of the most influential figures in hip-hop, asking Trump, a man he'd publicly clashed with, for mercy. To some, it looked desperate. To others, strategic. But everyone agreed on one thing: it was bold. And the speed of it all raised questions. Why move so fast? Why skip the usual legal process? Insiders claim Diddy's team saw an opportunity, a narrow window before political tides shifted, and before public outrage grew louder. They wanted to strike while the headlines were still hot, while Trump's attention was still on the story. Behind the scenes, phone calls were made, connections were leveraged, and a private message reportedly found its way straight into the White House. Whether that message was read by Trump himself or filtered through his circle is still unclear. Now, as the dust begins to settle, the question still hangs in the air. Will Diddy get the mercy he's chasing? Or will this final move become just another headline in a long, complicated legacy? The truth is, this story isn't just about one man's fall from grace. It's about power. Who has it, who loses it, and who's bold enough to ask for it back. Diddy's entire life has been about rewriting his own narrative, bending the rules, and proving he could turn chaos into gold. But now, that same confidence might be the one thing standing between him and freedom. Trump, on the other hand, stands in a position he knows all too well. The man in control of redemption. Every word he says, every silence he holds, keeps the world guessing. Maybe it's political theater, maybe it's personal, or maybe it's just another chapter in the strange intersection of fame, power, and ego that defines modern America. What happens next will say more than any verdict ever could. Because if Trump grants that pardon, it won't just rewrite Diddy's future. It'll send a message to every powerful figure watching that no matter how far you fall, connections still matter more than consequences. And if he doesn't, then the empire Diddy built, from the music, the fashion, the deals, the fame, will serve as a reminder that even legends can find themselves asking for mercy from the very system they once outplayed. So now, the world waits. Trump's decision, Diddy's fate. Two men who spent decades defining power in their own ways, now connected by one final, unpredictable choice. Because when fame meets politics, mercy becomes the most dangerous game of all. What do you think? Should Trump actually grant that pardon? Let me know below. And while you're here, tap like and subscribe so you don't miss the next twist in this story.